Hey, my name is Launders, and you're listening to TCR.
Are you ready?
Hello, and welcome everyone to another episode of The Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast. Episode 54, coming at you live, pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date, March 22nd, 2017, 9:22 p.m. I'll be one of your hosts. My name is Tim, at Pirate Mushroom on Twitter, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. My two co-pilots for today, you have Brett, at Dallas Homer. Hello, sir.
What's up?
You have Anuj, at Spiffy_VR. What's up?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
Born ready.
Because this is going to be the best episode we have ever recorded. Follow the show at The Center Ring. Get all the latest there. All the ongoings. You can follow us on our Discord. There's links out there. Apparently they're all broken. Just shoot us something on Twitter. I'll send you a link, I promise. But this is going to be the best episode ever. Why, you ask? Well, because E-News is moving to the back of the show yet again. We didn't like it at the front. So we're moving that to the back. We interviewed Zach Dixon of Players Lounge, a little company where you can kind of 1v1 your friends in Madden, FIFA, more games to come. He's a fan of the show, and he's kind of promoting some awesome stuff going on with Swansea City, the EPL team. So we had him on to discuss that. And to start the show, we're going to talk a little bit MLG Dallas. That just happened this last weekend. We watched majority of it there. Me and Brett went out there to kind of see the scene, see what that was going on, meet a friend. And man, we kind of previewed the MLG Dallas for the Call of Duty tournament last weekend, which was kind of a brief preview, or more so us venting the fact that there's just nothing out there to preview for. And so we decided to watch it. Clearly, we are not like Call of Duty aficionados. We're not going to even pretend that we know everything to do with Call of Duty.
Fair statement.
But we still, I feel like, have enough to appreciate the game. And man, for someone, like I said, I don't watch a whole lot of Call of Duty. I was in Detroit. I flew back today. We weren't even supposed to do the show, but I was like, no, I need to talk about MLG Dallas. I was like, I cannot go another day without talking about MLG Dallas because, to be honest, pretty entertaining.
I know. I was
captivated.
Pleasantly surprised.
The wife was taking a nap at the hotel, and I was like, okay, this take your nap. I was kind of, I'm on vacation. Let's go do stuff. But no, I was actually really, I was really captivated by the tournament.
E United and Optic have learned how to put on a show. I mean, these guys have had some really, really great matchups recently.
You could just say E United.
Well, it's been versus Optic.
It has been versus Optic, but for whatever reason, E United is captivating no matter what, or no matter who they're playing, right? But are they the underdogs, or do they just carry that flag?
Well, they're rookies. So that's kind of a big deal, right? Aren't they like a rookie team, as far as I know?
Rookier than the most. So, they're not FaZe or Optic or anything like that. But still, I mean, when they've, they met Optic in the grand finals here. Like, at what point is it almost like, is it because they're not Optic Gaming? Is that why they're the underdog?
Yeah, and I mean, almost reverse sweeping them twice, dude. Man. Good.
Yeah, so if you look at the finals, yes, Optic, it took it to them, but like you said, it almost went the other way.
Yeah, I mean, Optic was up 2-0 in both rounds, and United reverse sweeped in the first match, and then Optic again up 2-0. They brought it back to 2-2, and then Optic showed that they're Optic, and they just wiped the floor with them in Search and Destroy. But it was fun to watch. I mean,
and that's where I think a lot of it came into play, because you had Search and Destroy where I think Optic just dominated.
oh god,
They E United had no answers for Search or Destroy. The ball game.
Uplink.
Uplink, thank you. I don't know why.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite part of the tournament. Tim.
Uplink, man. I felt like that is where Optic was struggling all tournament, though. Like, it wasn't just the one.
Yeah.
Like, against E United. It was even just any. I mean, clearly they won, so when I say struggle, take it with a grain of salt. But that's where Optic, I think, if you want to find that hole that you can attack them on, it's Uplink. That's where you have to take Optic in.
Yeah.
Because that's where they were struggling. I will say this, and maybe I'm get off my lawn on this one, and maybe it's just a console thing, or maybe it's they don't do it in CS:GO as much. There seems to be a lot of smack talk.
Yeah, you know what it is? Call of Duty, they remind me of like Raider fans, because they are relentless. They are relentless. You know, throwing up the choke sign and just like all up in E United's face.
Dude, just standing up yelling, and then Optic will yell, which gets their fans wild up.
I like it.
It is a hostile territory.
I like it. I like
It's
it.
almost polar opposite of
See,
CS.
so I'm gonna play. Like I said, I'm very old man. Get off my lawn here, because
Usually I'm with you.
usually I'm the one who's like, dude, just lay it on them. Like, talk as much smack as you want. This is what it's about. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable for whatever reason in esports when someone gets that fired up and talks like, not like playful smack, but just goofy smack talking, where it's like, what are you gonna do, man? Like, just go play. Or like in this case, when you're FaZe, and then you get kicked out. Like, I loved it when FaZe would stand up and just yell and talk trash to Optic or E United, and then they end up losing to both. And then it's kind of like, okay, well, now you look like an idiot, which is any type of risk when you're talking smack.
I felt like every COD team had that, like Clayster on FaZe, and then you had not formal dude. He is like stoic, but Scump on Optic. You have those fiery guys, and I like it. I enjoy it. I don't know.
I would have more of an issue if this was happening in League or Dota, and they were getting up and yelling at each other. But for this, it works. You know, they get hype. You know, they're into it. You don't see it in Counter-Strike because you're separated, and you don't really see that intensity amongst
I don't think it happens,
another.
though. I don't think it happens in general. Like, you get the playful banter. I don't think, though, this is like blood in their eyes. Like,
they're meeting in the
very
finals.
Aggressive.
2 out of the last 3 tournaments.
It's just a different crowd. I mean, you know, like how we always say, the fighting game community, the FGC, that's also the crowd is crazy. They will talk smack to the pros while on stage. It's all the same. I also think it's just Optic Gaming. And again, personal opinion aside, I enjoy watching them lose because of that. I'm weird in the sense that I get pleasure out of seeing people being disappointed, and it's the whole rooting against, Green Bay or whatever, right? It's rooting against the favorite because or like that's why I love seeing New England win.
Oh.
The Patriots winning the Super Bowl was just beautiful to me because it made so many people upset. I'm like, yes, I love it. And here it's the opposite, to where it's like, Optic won. People are so happy, and they're just talking smack, and it's like...
That's a compliment to Optic. If you're like the Yankees or the Duke basketball of the community...
It's true. I'm not trying to be like, I enjoy watching Optic lose because F Optic, right? I'm saying it's because they can talk the smack and back it up.
Yeah.
As opposed to FaZe, where, yes, they definitely did talk a lot of smack, but then they did find great awkward pleasure in the running back with your tails in between your legs.
And the COD community's kind of had that stigma before, so that doesn't help to see it come out from the pros either.
It doesn't help because you are right. Yeah. Is it COD or console?
You think
whatever. I mean, I think
It's
COD
the same.
was
It's
one
the
of the
same in
first
the pro
games that
scene. It's the
brought that.
We've all like we played COD back in the day, and we play CS, we play Overwatch. The COD community puts to shame the Counter-Strike and Overwatch community.
They'll tell you
so
words.
toxic.
They'll tell you words you never knew.
Oh my god, that's what I told a friend. I'm like, all right, if your kids play this game online, headset.
No,
Don't let them have a headset.
Your kid will
You'll
grow
thank
up.
me later.
Your kid will grow up a lot faster than what you were planning. Daddy, why does this guy say he knows mommy? Like it's like it just doesn't bode well.
Kind of like playing 1.6 with the sprays. You had to
Oh,
have
man.
a way to blur out everything.
1.6 with the sprays. Young Tim grew up, man.
Oh, real quick.
He'd be like, go ahead and block some websites, Mom. I'm just gonna go play Counter-Strike. Join that one server on my favorites list, and all right, let's do this. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So there's one thing, and let me let you tell me what you guys think. I'm struggling with words today about the double dip. All right. I'm not a fan of it. During MLG, E United had to beat Optic twice, right? That's how it worked. So if Optic would have won that first match, it would have been over right there.
Right.
And E United had to beat them twice. I don't like that. I don't like championship games that have to
But it
end
makes
like
sense. That's the only fair way to do it.
Maybe we just structure the tournament in a way where that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but think about. But how would you do that in a double elimination tournament? That's
True.
why it's like that. You have a winners and you have a losers. If you restructured the championship game and say E United beat Optic the first time, and then all of a sudden they win everything, people are gonna have a fit.
They are
because Optic was only allowed to lose once out of that entire tournament. This is the only fair way where technically this is how it happened. So Optic played FaZe, okay, in the winners bracket. Optic beat FaZe, so FaZe moved to the losers bracket where they played E United in the losers bracket
Who
final.
already had a loss at that point.
Because they were in the losers bracket. Then E United beat FaZe, who then met Optic Gaming in the finals. So in the finals, you have Optic Gaming and E United, who already has one loss on their record.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I know that, but it's still. I mean, it just felt kind of anticlimactic.
I'm kind of with you on this because I don't like the format, but I understand why they get to that point. It's the only fair way to do it. So if you're in this format, I agree with they have to lose twice. I'm just not a big fan of the format in general.
And I for this type of thing, I don't really like it. I mean, like Super Smash Brothers, that's how they do almost all of their tournaments from what I can recall. And it's awesome to see someone in the losers bracket come back and beat that winners twice.
Well, United did that just 2 tournaments ago in Dallas.
Exactly. I mean, that is just...
Or no, Optic did it. I'm sorry. Optic went into the losers bracket and rolled through and made the comeback.
And that's what makes those crazy... That's what makes those really good storylines. So I don't hate that. The only way to get around that is to have pool play.
And then
you qualify for a bracket tournament single elimination.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
We all like that because we're coming from the CS community. That's what we see.
Yeah, maybe we're a little get off my lawn there, but I mean,
that's
how
you do it.
Yeah,
and you can also do that with Counter-Strike because the matches don't match as long. You cannot do this with CS:GO.
Oh no!
If you did a best of 3 and then a possible another best of 3 right after, like no, that
snooze.
Even these best of 5s are so long. You know, as a viewer to watch, I get it. It's fun, but
when it goes to that 5th map, I mean, even for someone who loves the game, you're like, dude,
when you're married and with the job, you don't have time to watch 5 games. Even 3 is like, oh my gosh, hopefully this ends in 2.
I'm guilty of it where, again, you know, when you're married and you got to pick your battles, in a best of 5, I will skip the first 2. And I will come for the 3rd, which is possibly the elimination
Deal
match.
breaker,
Yeah.
tiebreaker game.
I will skip the first 2 matches because when it comes to it, I don't have right now. Like, dude, I just watched an entire tournament for a week. I cannot convince my wife to give me 4 hours on a Sunday.
Not happening.
No,
I got a honeydew list longer than I can't even count that high.
Nah, guys, I'm like, you know what? Listen here, Linz.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I am the man. I run this house. I will watch what I want to watch, woman.
That's exactly why you said, uh-oh. My wife
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah,
we're starting late tonight, guys. My wife's gonna be mad.
I know what you're talking about, Tim.
So let's overall, I'm very happy with Call of Duty MLG Dallas. Optic won, which I did predict in the preview. Not
Bold.
like that's like a bold prediction. I think that's a pretty safe bet. One cool thing in the tournament is that they did lose their map streak. So that's one positive there where, what was it, like 23 maps in a row or something like that? Optic won in a row. They didn't drop a map for like 23.
Picking Optics, like picking
I started.
the
I
Warriors.
watched a few of the matches in between, but I watched all the semis and finals, so I didn't catch that.
No, I think it was really good. I'll definitely have to pay more attention to it. Like I said, it was really entertaining, especially coming from someone who does not play Call of Duty anymore. I hung up my controller a long time ago when it came to caring about Call of Duty.
And something else that I liked about that tournament, the comms. I know that it can't be done in a lot of other esports, but the comms were awesome to listen to. Like E-United, them talking to each other. It was hectic, but still organized. Like, it just wasn't people just talking over each other. I mean, it felt, it was a cool experience to listen to what pros are saying during a match and organizing and kind of, strategizing. And, it was
That's a nice
fun.
touch. I really do enjoy that too. Like when Gambit released their comms, it's just always fun to see their perspective and how their games are instead of the troll games we play in most of the time.
Yeah, and I get why it can't be, done on other networks because, sponsors and what have you. And during the comms, there were some F-bombs dropped, but I mean,
The
whatever.
only way you're going to get around that, and I don't know why they don't do. Okay, so before we get into the Zach Dixon interview, thank you for going down this route because it reminded me of something. The only way you're going to be able to do that is with a delay. Just like in radio is on a delay.
Mhm.
So when you did it, when you swear, like for example, right now, I'm looking at it. If we swore right now, I could hit a dump button and it dumps the last 20 seconds.
All right, Anush, go crazy now.
Mother.
So you can dump it and it cuts off the last thing, and then it will gradually put in a delay through your silence. So that's why and this is getting into my normal day job now. So for all you listeners who are wondering why, that's why you kind of hear in radio people will all of a sudden randomly sound like robotic or like they're kind of talking through water, and it's because there was a delay and now it's getting ramped back down to have a delay because someone hit the dump button, meaning someone said something they weren't supposed to. So that's going into there, and that's the only way you're going to get those comms and stuff if you want it to be PG rated and everything for kids. But speaking of delays, so this is how I had to watch this because I was watching on my phone, and for whatever reason, MLG was not working on my phone. The app or the browser was kind of laggy. Hotel Wi-Fi, I don't know. So this was an MLG event. So the way MLG does their events is that they host it on their website, and then they will rebroadcast it though with like an hour or two delay.
Oh, it is insane.
It's really a big delay on Twitch.
Yeah, because like I was watching on Twitch originally, and there were people like spoiling stuff in the chat for other people, and I'm like, no, screw
Well, if you
this.
have Twitch chat up, that's your own fault.
That's your
problem.
But
any,
it was funny.
in
No,
any tournament, you have Twitch chat open. That's on you.
I watched Twitch chat for the humor.
The Vax.
Yeah,
There's no humor in Twitch chat.
it's
You're a grown man.
yeah. Okay, whatever.
So, but that's the delay. So we kind of talked about this on the way up here, Anuj, where we don't really like YouTube gaming. It's weird. It's like off-brand watching. It just feels weird, and half the time
It doesn't feel like Twitch, and I love Twitch so much that
it's
it just doesn't
what
have the
we're
same
not
feel.
used to, and you forget that it's even there. So it's like you'll see on Twitter, like, oh man, there's a match going on right now, and then it's YouTube. Same thing
Too
with
late by
MLG.
the time I find out half the time.
And there was like 40,000 something viewers on MLG. They did have a good number. I just wonder though, when they think about like trying to grow the brand, obviously it has sponsorships, and MLG do offer more. If you're watching it on MLG, they have like the stats and everything there, so that's good. You can click through, see some interesting stats. I'll at least they make it a different viewing experience. But is it worth it in the end where MLG has 40 or 50,000 viewers on MLG, where on Twitch, though, I would have to imagine they would get more people just because people like watching tournaments. Whether or not it's a game that they'd really like or not, if they see a grand finals, they're going to watch it.
You see a stream with 100,000 people on it, you're going to tune in just to see what the heck is going on
Right.
Twitch.
You're going to get those window shoppers on Twitch. I feel like on MLG TV, the only people that were there were the people that knew to go to MLG TV.
It just depends on what your motive is, right? To grow the brand or grow your company. And if you're getting a nice, hefty financial incentive to go with YouTube gaming, it's hard to blame them ultimately of doing it. But yeah, I agree. I mean, having it on open platforms, whether it be both, available to anybody, that would be the ideal way to go, because then you can pick your favorite.
But we did interview Zach Dixon from Players Lounge prior to recording the show. So we're going to play that interview for you now. Again, Players Lounge, he'll say it all in the interview, but it's basically a website you can go and challenge your friend for some cash on the line in FIFA or Madden or anything like that. It's actually very cool, and his story behind it is just as cool. So go ahead and give this interview a listen. After the interview, we'll come back. We'll do some e-news and send this piece off. Okay, and I said at the start that we might have Zach Dixon on from Players Lounge, and we have him on right now on the phone. He conveniently called us the second we started recording the show, so that's no problem. Zach, how are you doing today, sir?
Pretty darn good, Tim. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. I know you contacted me on Discord like a week or so ago and pitched the idea that Players Lounge is doing something with an EPL team, and you kind of wanted to come on to pimp that out. And I said, absolutely. It sounds pretty badass. Now, I don't want to put words in your mouth, though. So tell our listeners what Players Lounge is.
Sure. So Players Lounge, www.playerslounge.co, is a social gaming platform where you can play your favorite sports video games online for money in skill-based cash competitions against other players. So Tim and Anuj can square up in FIFA, Madden, or NBA for $1, $5, $10, $100 if they want. You guys play head-to-head, and then the winner takes the money.
So now that I want to get into what, the Premier League and all, I want to get into the big news of the day that, spoiler alert, Swansea announced it, that you partnered up with Swansea to do a FIFA tournament with them. And I'll get into that here in just a minute. But I'm more fascinated with, well, that's also fascinating, but I'm also fascinated with kind of how you guys started up, right? Because I appreciate, and you said it, the hustle that it took to start, where it's you and a group of friends, right?
Yeah, it was me and two of my teammates from college.
Because you played soccer, right, in college?
Yeah, myself, and my two co-founders, we all played soccer at Wesleyan University. It's a small D3 college in Connecticut. And, you can't drink every night in college, especially when you're an athlete. And so the nights before games, when we were just hanging out, playing FIFA, every time we did that, we were betting money on who was going to win a game. And we tried to start the company in college, but we were, stupid 20-year-old kids and didn't know how to pitch a legitimate investor.
You don't
let
say.
alone get, yeah, exactly. Let alone get, like a AAA studio to sponsor your company. So, so we tried to start it in college, met like 3 times over Natty Light, and then just, kind of stopped, and then got back together after college to give it another go.
So when you say, I guess, being a college athlete that you are, back
So
then,
past tense.
Was.
And D3 nonetheless.
Hey, that's like 3 more D's than what I ever got. So you're way ahead.
Whoa.
Hold on there.
So
Tim just gets a lot of D.
did you see it back then? I don't want to put an age on you, sir, but how long ago was that?
Well, I'm 27 years young,
Okay.
about to be 28.
Oh.
So I graduated 2012. One of my co-founders was 2011, and the other was 2010. So
All right,
we're
so
all in that sweet
Me and you are
late 20s.
Me and you are the young ones on this show, then, just so you're aware.
Oh my God.
Anuj and
You guys
Brett are old.
dated.
You're
Yeah.
right. No, we are the young
You
ones
guys are
here.
like Atari.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, I'm wearing a T-shirt that says classically trained, so
So now,
kind of
There you
dates
go.
me.
with that being said, did you see it back then as just you guys playing FIFA, or did you see that as, hey, this is an esport? Like, this could be something bigger than just putting money on a FIFA match?
Yeah, I mean, back then, like this is that kind of dark era in esports, right? It's
Right.
after MLG had highlights on ESPN with the ogres. And like, you know, I was a huge Halo player, but didn't really think it was going to blow up in the mid-early 2000s. So I wouldn't say that I was like, you know, so genius to have the foresight in the late 2000s that esports was going to be a thing and to cultivate that. It's just that we really loved playing video games. We're competitive dudes, and we really like betting on games that we're competing in, you know? So my best friend from college and roommate, he was a pro Call of Duty and Gears of War player. So he introduced me to like the higher level competitive scene, not just like your LANs and pugs. And so I was like, oh, wow, like this really could be something. But I certainly didn't think it could be a career, let alone, you know, a startup enterprise.
Well, hey, Zach, so, you know, kind of going off that, what do you think is the biggest challenge, in your opinion, to get sports games like on the main stage of esports?
You know, frankly, I think the biggest issue is that the games aren't as interesting minute to minute and second to second. The skill ceiling for somebody to appreciate, you know, a double step over with Messi who bends it into the top corner in FIFA is nowhere near as interesting as like a, you know, Widowmaker headshot, like triple headshot back to back to back. They're just not even comparable. It's like watching, you know, baseball versus ice hockey. It's just like, it's not really comparable. And frankly, you know, we focus on esports, but I'm much rather and prefer to play Overwatch and Clash Royale than I do FIFA, Madden, or NBA. It's just, that's what we saw that as an underserved market. And I certainly love those games. But when it comes to like big explosive esports, I don't know if, you know, FIFA is ever going to sell out a whole stadium for people to watch, you know, the top two players in the world compete with their FIFA Ultimate Team card packs together, you know?
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, and Zach, building off that, I read on your website that you plan on opening up to other games in the future. Any ideas on maybe some games that you're looking at adding to the site?
Yeah, so, you know, any game that has a big 1v1 following, you know, it could be 1v1 Counter-Strike, it could be Hearthstone, Clash Royale, StarCraft, any game that is 1v1 and can be played, you know, has a big audience in the millions, that's a game that we're interested in. You know, we also want to break into teams, you know, team-based games. Our business model is built on doing a high volume of games. And so the more games you can do, the more our business can thrive. And when you have, you know, when you require teams, 2v2, 3v3, 5v5, 6v6, it makes it much harder for the matchmaking and the skill pairing. Because if Anuj is a crack FIFA player and Tim, sorry buddy, is just not very good, Tim's only going to walk into the bloodbath like, you know, once or twice, right? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you're not going to fool me again, right?
Right.
So that kind of thing.
This has kind of been recently in esports with last year or so, where the gambling, right, the Counter-Strike gambling went through the roof, and it was crazy, and it really put kind of a negative light on betting in general with video games. Have you felt, or have you seen any backlash from that? Well, I guess let me ask you first off. Yeah, sure. When you started this, do you guys view yourself as a gambling website? No. We are not a gambling platform. And if Tim and Zach were to play each other 1v1 in basketball. Now, Tim, I played D3 soccer, but I'm also 5'8" 3/4" and Jewish, and I've never touched rim. I'm not good at basketball. So if you and I played 1v1 basketball, and you're pretty good, and I'm pretty bad, your skill is gonna beat me, you know, 9 or 99 out of 100 times. 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100 times. So the U.S. Supreme Court defines gambling. It allows every state to determine what is and is not gambling. And the majority of those states say how big of a factor is skill in the competition. And if that is the predominant factor,
then it's not gambling. Some states, like my native state of Louisiana, they just outlawed completely. You can just basically look at any state in the country where DraftKings or FanDuel is not legal. That's a state where Players Lounge either can't, or maybe it's a little gray for us to operate.
Is there any plans to try to fight that in the future, or is that kind of on the back burners now, as we'll deal with it when we have the resources?
DraftKings and FanDuel are spending a lot of money lobbying. And it's, we call our business skill-based cash gaming. I don't even consider what we do gambling, but I don't even say the G word, because I just don't believe it is. So we have a lot more, skill-based cash gaming matchups to be done before we could even think about hiring a lobbyist to go to the Louisiana, Supreme Court and lobby on our behalf. It's something that, investors wanted us to try and do. But we're just like, look, we're operating on a startup budget. My buddy and I are, growing a business, but we're eating peanut butter and jelly and bagels, a couple times a day. And it's not on the radar for right now.
Well, as we all know as gamers, this is 100% skill-based. Okay, if you're going heads-up 1v1 in Madden, FIFA, NBA, it takes who's got the better skill at the end of the day.
Unless in FIFA I hit 8 posts in one match, then it's BS. All right, and
don't you like roulette at that time?
They're ruthless.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I was going to say one thing that might help the cause in that is we talked about a couple episodes ago, which I think we all said it was a genius idea that 2K is starting this basketball league, right? None of us said anything bad about it. Definitely, for sure.
Lies. Just so you know, Zach, I had your back on this.
But that's going to help where you have this giant developer with 2K Sports going into it, having their own league. That's going to legitimize a lot of that, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And, the CEO of Take-Two Interactive is an investor in Players Lounge. And that's actually a kind of a crazy story how it happened. But, he's a really sharp dude and has helped grow 2K, Take-Two in a major way. So I have a lot of faith in what they're doing.
Didn't Kobe and Rick Fox join together to host some huge 2K tournament recently or not too long ago?
I forget who it was, but they had a lot of talent down in New Orleans this year at NBA All-Star. They did a 2K challenge or something like that, I think the winning team got $250,000, and it wasn't just 1v1. I believe it was the 5v5 mold, because that's the model they're pushing in this NBA E-League.
Oh, okay.
That's actually kind of crazy.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's not 1v1. It's 5 players playing against 5 players, and it's going to be the E Pelicans versus the E Mavericks. And you're not playing as Anthony Davis and, I don't know, Dirk Nowitzki. You're playing as literally Avatar, however Tim wants to set it up, and Avatar, however Zach wants to set it up. So they're playing with created players on these E franchises.
All right, team of 7'11" players. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, exactly.
3.99. Just game over. Just sink it from from way down court. So let's get into I want to get into kind of this promotional thing that, you want to talk about where, so you teamed up. Well, I guess you kind of know some people, right? You know the CEO of 2K or Take-Two, that's your main investor. So how did then, with this new thing, how did you get in touch with Swansea to pull off what it is?
Sure. So a little backstory on how we got the company started. So we had tried to start that internet, skill-based cash gaming business when we were in college. And then we linked up. I'd worked a job that I didn't like. My partner was working a job he didn't like. And he was like, hey, I've got a dive bar across the street from my apartment that is going to let me start using the back room to host video game tournaments. And do you want to do this with me? Let's see if we can make a little money. So we just spent $2,000 on a couple Xboxes and TVs and just started hosting, bar room FIFA tournaments. And within a month we had EA Sports as a sponsor because I met some dude and pitched him. And then within 6 months, we had AB InBev, which is like, Budweiser. They were a sponsor, and they were paying us to host FIFA events all throughout New York City and even some in Toronto. So we started to get some traction with the event model, but it's a really hard business to scale. And if a company is not going to lay down a lot of money, or you don't have a lot of money to fund that yourself, it's a capital-intensive business. So the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, I got in touch with him over a long period of time. I tried to meet him for like 5 years. So I'm pretty good at tracking people down.
That's not creepy, Zach. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no. Whether it's in a couple months or whether it's in a couple years, like if I'm interested in chatting with somebody, I'll figure out a way to make it happen. So what I found out with Swansea, this is a really crazy coincidence. So my aunt and uncle live in Short Hills, New Jersey, and this will all become relevant soon. So 2 years ago, my aunt and uncle were like, hey, there's this American guy who lives across the street from us, and he works in sports advertising sales. You should talk to him. And I was like, I don't know why I would talk to him. I'm not going to talk to him. Fast forward 2 years. I'm like, okay, why do I recognize this guy's name? Some American guy named Chris Perlman. He's the COO of Swansea.
Oh, man.
And they have an American ownership group, and all this cool stuff is going on. So I looked the guy up, and it turns out that he had gone to the college that my partners and I went to, and that the CEO of Take-Two actually went to. So I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. So I did a little more digging, and it turns out he'd also played soccer at Wesleyan, and that my aunt and uncle live across the street from him in Short Hills, New Jersey.
You guys are like best friends already.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I get him on the phone, and I was like, I got a friend to introduce me, and I get him on the phone, and I was like, oh my God, like Wesleyan, soccer, New Jersey. And it was just like, I would have had to have been a real jerk to not have this guy give me a chance. And we'd hosted a digital tournament with New York City FC back in October. And it was, free to enter digital tournament. 16 players qualified for a live finale outside of Yankee Stadium. As far as I know, that's the first esports event ever at Yankee Stadium, if you can call 16 bros playing FIFA outside of Yankee Stadium esports.
I'll give you credit.
Awesome.
Yeah. So first ever, So anyways, got in touch with this guy, and he was like, this sounds cool. I'll put you in touch with our marketing department. And so, basically just that was, 2 or 3 months ago. And so today, this morning at 2 a.m. Eastern time, 7 a.m. Welsh time, Swansea City AFC announced a project with Players Lounge where it's a free-to-enter tournament. Anyone in the world can participate. There are PlayStation and Xbox tournaments leading up to the 2 days before Swansea City's home game. So the finalists from each tournament will get to compete in a championship on the Jumbotron at Swansea City Stadium 30 minutes before kickoff.
Wow.
So you're used to playing FIFA with your buddy, by yourself, maybe in a room full of your bros. You score a sweet goal. It's like, oh, that was great. Maybe you're a streamer. You got a couple hundred people watching you. But Liberty Stadium has, I think it's like 25,000 capacity.
Yeah. They
sell that sucker out because those Welsh go really hard for the Swans. And so these guys are going to be playing, there's going to be a PlayStation game and there's going to be an Xbox game on the Jumbotron right before kickoff. And, that's pretty exciting.
And
it's a packed house. It'll certainly be the biggest, FIFA event that these guys ever play in. So pretty cool stuff.
So that's going from March 31st, continuing on through Saturday, April 1st, according to Swansea's website.
So it is going to be the next 5 Swansea City home games. So we're doing 5 sets of tournaments. So the first one is, as you mentioned, end of March to the beginning of April. Then there's another set of tournaments starting April 3rd, April 20th, May 4th, and then May 19th. And each of those tournaments is the same thing. Xbox and PlayStation finalists get to play their game on the Jumbotron before kickoff.
And this is all online up to the Jumbotron game.
Exactly, yeah. So, there's an unlimited number of participants. We're hoping, to get a couple hundred per tournament. And then, the PlayStation and Xbox finalists will each get to play their game on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, and maybe Zach, maybe you're the good luck they need to stay out of relegation too this season.
Oh, I don't even think about the R word, because the second Players Lounge got involved with Swansea, they jumped out of the relegation zone.
Right. Yeah, they're 3 points out right now. So.
Oh yeah, they're going to stay out. I'm confident.
So on that topic, I have to ask, what team do you support?
Chelsea.
Oh God, we just became worse enemies.
What are you, an Arsenal hipster?
No, Man U.
No, he's worse. He's in Man U.
All right, look,
real original.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of. I got into it, Gig, Skulls, Sir Alex. That's when I got into soccer. So I mean,
when they were the best team in the world.
Yeah, but I mean, they're fun to watch and they're likable guys. You don't watch them and you're like, God, I hate this guy.
See,
likable guys.
Yeah. Paul Scholes was a little bit dirty but hey, you got to appreciate his grit, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's a ginger. I'm half ginger. I respect it.
See, this is why I root for Everton, because no one says anything.
That's true. And Tim Howard, I'm down with the Toffees. They're great.
Yeah, and that's why I went with him, because of Tim Howard.
See, I'm the outcast of the group. Yeah. I'm a Borussia Dortmund fan, so I'm not even in the same league.
Ooh, well, Christian Pulisic, he's an American. He's
amazing. The next big thing, hopefully, for us. Man,
yeah,
with Players Lounge, dude, our group was the same way. We were one of those groups that had like 3 TVs set up in our living room. You had either a Madden game, a FIFA game going on at all times. So this is definitely exciting stuff. I mean, I think it's something that I would definitely want to try out and see how my luck goes. Maybe against Brett, who knows?
It's not luck, Anush. All right.
Well, yeah, that's one of the cool things.
Gaming, guys.
That's one of the cool things with Players Lounge is that at the root of it, it was a grassroots thing, right? They literally back of the bar is where it started. Like it's your old Cinderella story. It's not some giant company that didn't know gaming or esports. It started out as a couple of fans, give or take, wanted to start just playing video games.
Like basketball. Like that movie, right?
Honestly, it's exactly like basketball. And we just always came back to, then we get the khakis. And that's what it came down to.
So, you probably said it. The Swansea tournament, is that free?
It's free to enter.
So it's free to enter. So I could go, I could win, but I do have to pay. People have to pay for travel expense, right?
Yeah, the Swansea City, neither Swansea City nor Players Lounge is covering travel. But if you are a finalist and plan to attend the event, Swansea City is going to give you 2 tickets. So you and a +1 will get to attend the match.
And that's on my bucket list anyways.
So by the time that you qualify and win the tournament, you could probably save to fly out there. You're getting free tickets to a game that's probably not the cheapest. You are getting to play at the stadium on the Jumbotron.
In front of 25,000
25,000. Who knows where esports is going? Maybe have a right. As stupid as this sound, maybe some scouts are watching. Maybe some sponsorships are watching, right? Start your FIFA career there.
Yeah.
It would be well worth it. Or better yet, if you're one of our European listeners, that's not very far.
Not very far at all.
You could qualify for this Xbox or PS4, and then, bam, you got it. And that's, let's see. Is there anything else we're missing on then with that? You can go register, of course. That's playerslounge.co/Swansea City AFC. It does say here, no pressure, Zach, but to ask you guys for all the questions. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can sign up in one click with your Facebook. We strongly encourage people to sign up with Facebook. You get a free deposit bonus. You get a free $2.50 for signing up with Facebook. When we built this website, there are other websites out there like this, but they feel a little scammy. And, that's an issue that we face, that our business faces every day. people are like, no way can you play your favorite sports games for money online. It can't be true. It's really true. It's my full-time job. It's my business. So we want people to sign up with their Facebook, A, because it's easier to join, and B, because the point of it is it's a social gaming platform. Mm-hmm. We're not just calling this, the gaming casino, right? It's supposed to be the players' lounge where players go and hang out and play some video games and, shoot the proverbial shit.
And if you have any questions, you spoke social. What's the Twitter? At Players Lounge?
_Players Lounge.
At _ Players Lounge. I think I have it pulled up right here. Facebook, I'm sure if I just look up Players Lounge, it will find it.
That's right.
Well, I followed the right account then.
Also, you are in our Discord, so if you have any questions or if you see Players Lounge in the TCR's Discord, that's Zach, right?
That's me.
That's me. Just some imposter.
And I'm a big fan, not an imposter. I'm a big fan of the Discord. I'm not lying, guys. I've listened to every TCR episode. Started about mid-January and just binged my way through those episodes. I loved it. I don't play CS:GO or like Hearthstone or a lot of other games, but you guys have been very educational and enlightening, so thank you.
Well, dude. Thank you for listening. That means a lot to us. You went through the ups and downs. Brandon passing away.
I know, R.I.P. Brandon.
That was rough. That was rough on everyone.
Yeah, and if you're a pro Overwatch player, I need a carry.
Wow.
Yeah,
they are Hydra.
I felt like they stepped in the roles pretty well.
I think so.
All right. Well, Zach, I don't want to waste too much more of your time, man. I just wanted to thank you again for listening and coming on the show, telling us a little bit about Players Lounge. Again, the website, playerslounge.co. You will sign up for the Swansea tournament. If you own FIFA on PS4 or Xbox One, even if you don't think you're that good, you just never know. It's a free tournament. Like what could be the downside? You both own FIFA on PS4, correct?
Yep, we do.
Yep.
All right, so both of you have to go and do this.
And I'm going to get my $2.50 free money so I can bet that against Brett.
And then you could win that.
Thank you for your money, Anush.
And then both of you get $5 for winning, and then you can multiply that, and then use that winnings to go to Swansea.
There we go.
We just figured it out, just like that.
That's right.
All right, Zach.
And thank you for having me. If anybody out there listening wants to sign up, if you put in promo code TCR, I will personally put $10 in your account so you can get gaming on the lounge.
We have our own promo code at Players Lounge. All right, well, we'll also
promo code.
We'll also tweet that out then. Promo code TCR, full capitals. Does it matter?
All capitals.
All capitals. All capitals TCR, and that is playerslounge.co.
I'm hyped.
Zach Dixon, what do you prefer on Twitter? Do you have I know you have your personal Twitter, but you focus more on Players Lounge Twitter, right?
Yeah, my personal Twitter is more for like education. I'm kind of a lurker on Twitter.
Right.
So hit up Players Lounge, but just at _ Players Lounge on Twitter and Instagram.
All right. Awesome, Zach. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you again coming on. If you're ever in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, hit us up. Love to hang out with you and have a beer or
shoot the shit.
Whatever kids do. I don't know.
I would love to. Thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure.
No problem, man. We'll see you in the Discord.
Take care.
Later.
See you, man.
All right.
And there you have it, Zach Dixon from Players Lounge. Again, I really wanted to thank Zach for coming on the show. Obviously, long-time listener, first-time caller. Again, though, I think one of the most awesome things about all that is that it really is like a homegrown thing, which I always love more than like the manufactured one, if that makes sense.
I mean, you talk about the stars being aligned. That was awesome to hear his whole backstory and just how it's become what it is, and it's definitely something for everybody to go check out. If you're into any of those games, that's the platform to hop on and maybe make a little money. Who knows?
Yeah, and I'm rooting for him too. He's blue collar kind of dude,
that's what I'm saying.
And
he has the hustle.
He's all in. He is all in. This is full-time job. I'm rooting for him. I'm definitely going to join. I don't know about you guys. I want your $2.50.
$2.50. I'm going to get it.
All right, let's get into some e-news because there's a ton of things to get through here. Like, to start, you have a bunch of stand-ins right now going into Counter-Strike. A lot of not roster moves, but
Fillers for now.
fillers in. And we were going to talk a little bit about Hiko, but we decided to hold that off onto another episode because that's like a full-on segment. But you had Freakazoid standing in for Optic because Hiko is no longer a stand-in.
Which is weird to me. So you get rid of one guy that's quote-unquote toxic for the most toxic guy in CS. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't say it's most toxic other than that bullying incident, but I feel like it's an interesting choice. He's been streaming a lot lately, as if you've been on Twitch. I just think he's a popular name right now, and he'll be the filler for him. I don't see that being a long-term fit.
No, it was most recently there was an MM, and he was just typing in chat some things that we can't repeat on the air.
Yeah, Jason R. He filled in for Complexity and Optic, right?
Yeah.
Did that happen over the weekend? I've been kind of out of the loop over the weekend.
Yeah,
No.
so he actually played in the game. They did well. They won. They were 2-0. I forgot who they played against. Forgive me, but I don't have the teams pulled up. But yeah, he played well in both games, and he's shown that he's at least a good pug star. Let's see how he performs again, hopping onto a team, and I kind of wish him the best. Let's see how he does.
That dude is, he just like plows through. He grinds because I watch him at night when they're playing like Rank S and stuff. But he grinds, man. He is like constantly on. I like him. He's a good player.
According to Decay, some liquid roster moves might be happening here in the next week or so.
Any speculation? We know it's not Russian Mixwell like people were originally hoping or guessing or whatever.
Right,
because Rush was at MLG.
Yeah, well, and
repping Optic.
Hector, the owner of
He cut that
Optic,
off real quick.
He came out and said, well, he did say though they wanted to move, but then he talked to him and had him stay. So that's kind of cool, I guess, in the end. Dude,
I don't see it being anything
JDM.
exciting.
I'd say JDM.
He's been lacking for sure.
I think I heard some people on Reddit and Twitter saying, "Oh, this is Pimp's going to leave," but I don't think Pimp is the issue. Like, I don't think it's not that he's not like amazing. Pimp isn't helping, but he's also not the issue to me.
Pimp has been relatively consistent. It's been Nitro that's kind of been lagging the past few tournaments here.
I would say it's one of the more veteran players on the team, which is JDM or Nitro.
Yeah, Elige has played really well.
Well, yeah,
So you're not going to do anything with him.
Elige can drop those 40 bombs, so you're never going to...
Yeah, he's been playing great, and he's been consistent for a long time. Nitro, since he fell off, that duo of Elige and Nitro, their entry tag team duo, they were superstars, when they were playing well with Simple, but Nitro's fallen off, and I could see that potentially being the move, too.
In Halo news, Team Beyond owner thinks ESL should be investigated for having an employee own a team.
That's big.
That is big, and we actually... Was it Richard Lewis who said that was it ESL was crunching down on owners who owned multiple teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? When you have an employee of your league owning a team, clearly that might raise some eyebrows as far as
a conflict of interest.
A conflict of interest would be the most proper way. I'm not going to say he's fixing anything because I'd like to give people benefit of the doubt when it comes to fixing matches, when it comes to especially Halo, but conflict of interest could definitely be a thing.
If you've listened to the show before, this would be a good clutch or kick segment, and I would definitely clutch this to hang on to it and just see where this goes, because some interesting revelations could come out of that.
In the sense of it could affect a lot more than just the Halo community.
Yeah.
If it's ESL, that could have a ripple effect into Counter-Strike, into whatever. It could remap how owners work.
Well, they said they were taking this into potentially a court-based issue.
Really?
And so there's could be a lot more to this story that develops, and it'll just be interesting to see where it goes.
C9 announces funding by major sport investor, including Joe Montana and Hunter Pence.
Local Dallas native. Played at UTA, graduate from there, and
weird dude.
He's a cool guy. I went to UTA, so shout out to the Mavericks. But yeah, we're just getting bigger and bigger names hopping in at this point.
I did see who said it. Somebody said it on Twitter, so I don't want to take credit for this, but someone mentioned that esports is quickly becoming the new car wash of retired athletes, which I kind of agree with.
Was it Thorne?
No.
He came out and said, "Oh, the two most overrated
right,
players."
yeah,
and
it was tongue in cheek though.
Yeah.
I wasn't even getting baited by that one. But I kind of agree with the sentiment that, and I've said it here on the show before, that I don't get hyped over investors because it's just that's what rich people do, right? They
throw some money at something,
they
see if it
throw
takes
some
off.
money, see if it hits,
But
and they see all their other rich friends doing it, so they're gonna do it.
as an athlete, these guys like to stay competitive by nature, even after retirement. So maybe this is something fun for them to dive into and, feel like they're still a part of some sort of community in that sense.
Yeah,
where it has
and
a
maybe
competitive
they
nature to
they
it.
see something because they're throwing in on the cheap when it could become this big
Like
big thing.
I can buy Hunter Pence being into it. Joe Montana, I cannot imagine he really knew
He's
much
not gonna
about
have
it.
any
You don't think he's-
day-to-day
You don't think he's a
activities.
closet Halo player?
No,
or something
I
like that?
do
No?
not think so.
But you're seeing people like Jeremy Lin and Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward plays for the Utah Jazz, and he just got a sponsorship by HyperX, which
Yeah.
that's pretty
Didn't-
cool. So you're
doesn't-
seeing this cross community happen with the younger generation now becoming athletes that's grown up in our world.
Yeah, he's-
Being involved in both.
fact-
Jeremy Lin's a pretty good Dota player, right?
I'm
Yeah, he
pretty
plays
sure-
Dota too. He's like heavily involved.
I'm pretty sure Hunter Pence. Yeah, okay. I just googled it because Hunter Pence I know is a big esports fan because he's like works with C9.
The jersey that he was repping a jersey.
That was him. Yeah, that was him on Twitter where it's like he went to their thing and he's got a Pence C9 jersey. So that one, like I said, I can buy and everything, but again, I think the majority of these big investors into it are
If
not.
anything, it helps that bridge between people that say sports and esports are two different brands and there's no connection to them. It's bridging that gap a little bit, and you're seeing that interest come from both sides now.
I agree with that.
Yep, I can't argue that one. Here, and under the news, Launders joins Yahoo Esports.
Why? I love it. Why are you saying it like that?
Saying, like what? I'm just saying that Launders
Yeah.
joined the Esports. Yahoo Esports.
Oh, you're messing with the news boy. But no, he has a little bit more personality on his stream. I
He
watch him
does
every once in a while.
now.
But yeah,
I love Launders, but there's no denying the fact that when he really first started,
it was robotic.
he kind of did interviews like this. No, you like going to the B site.
I think it's a definitely a good win for
Really?
Yahoo though to have him as
Really
part of the team
good.
because he's truly is loved by the community. So I think that's pretty
You,
awesome.
might
you
be-
triggered Anush.
I might be.
You did trigger me a little bit right there.
I might be over.
Launders, you're my boy.
I might
Okay,
be
I got you.
overplaying the way
I'll
Launders
always fight
does
for you.
interviews, but, here's this. I'm not so full disclosure here. I did not set up eNews today because I was busy traveling. So Anuj set it up, and I'm gonna say
You're
this
bringing
is
this racial.
not coincidence. No, you.
I
made
know
it-
where you're about to go
you
with this.
Made it racial.
Hey, that's why he said this is the best show yet.
Because I leave eNews in charge, or I leave Anuj and eNews for one episode, and we all of a sudden have two stories about Indians.
Okay.
You have Launders, and now MTV is to broadcast U-Cypher, India's first esport leagues for Dota 2 and CSGO, also to be on Twitch and YouTube. Indian investor Ronnie
Screwvala.
Screwvala pledged $15 million to launch India's first major esports league.
Look, baby, it's branching out. I'm happy it's going somewhere else. The fact that it's India
Are you
is
gonna be
just
the
a bonus.
face? Are
You
you
know
gonna be
what?
the face of
I'm
it? Why
about to
don't
go
you-
play for Team India right now.
Right? Why
It's
don't
about
you
to
get in
happen.
on this?
Well, I think you may be.
Dual
they need you.
citizenship is a real possibility for me right
Oh
now.
my
So
I mean, why don't we have we could be the official U-Cypher podcast right now. Why don't you get some connections?
Ronnie, if you're listening, which you probably are, we would love to have you on the show at some point to discuss this a little further.
There's got to be some Indian dot not feather, right?
Yeah, dot not feather.
Okay,
bro.
just wanted to make sure that I
damn.
was interpreting this correctly. And then, this is kind of relevant news. DreamHack signs with Twitch to broadcast through the year 2017.
Well, after ESL and ECS are both going with YouTube, it's about time Twitch stepped in and locked somebody up.
Right, and it's stopping the bleeding because YouTube took ESL and ECS, which is kind of a big deal considering Twitch helped start the ECS.
Yeah.
So when the fact that they left Twitch, you kind of helped them start up. It was that threw red flags. Like, is Twitch not taking this serious enough?
Yeah, maybe Twitch was like, yeah, sure, go, whatever. Take your ball and run.
Well, Twitch is now with Amazon
wait, they just took the ball and ran.
Right, and that's one good thing too, because at first I was like, well, YouTube's Google, like you can't fight that money, but then Twitch is Amazon, so they have money to do
They're
it.
both okay. Yeah.
Now I do know that we've talked to some people, Brett, where they were mentioning how, well, it's because Twitch doesn't show as much love to them, right? Like Twitch is caring more about the Twitch brand and the streamers as opposed to the leagues and tournaments and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
My counter to that is YouTube gaming is even worse because you can follow them on YouTube. You can go to youtubegaming.com. You can go to the live channel on youtubegaming.com, and there's still a chance you don't even see the tournament going on. Like, you have to go to Counter-Strike, and then, like, even then it's showing some random dude with, like, 3 viewers on the front page being featured.
The navigation is terrible.
Let's just hope they fix that up.
Really bad, man. YouTube gaming is really bad. So I'm glad that DreamHack is sticking with Twitch, just for the sake that I don't have to watch everything on YouTube gaming. But that is it for E-News. Anuj, I thank you so much for your contributions.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Your people's contributions.
For you, the world.
I expect to see you pro-Indian player here coming up. When does that start?
You cipher?
Yeah. Or did you just copy and paste the headline?
Oh, man.
No, it was like 90% copy and paste the headline for sure.
Okay. I mean, at least you admit. That's all I ask. Episode 54 is just about done. I thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, go check out Player Lounge or Players Lounge. What is it? I got it right up here.
Playerslounge.co.
Players with an S.
Yeah.
Playerslounge.co. Join in on that action. Use TCR in full caps for your promo code. Get $10. Think about you use that $10. You can bet someone.
Plus the $250 for
Plus
signing
the
up for the
$250.
Swansea tournament.
Signing up for Swansea. Dude, you could get like $24. Just like that. And then you use that 24. Start up your own business. Buy your lady something nice. I don't know. Whatever you want to use that money for. Go to Detroit, spend it in a casino, and lose it. That's what I did.
Buy more foot packs.
What
whatever.
happens in Detroit stays in Detroit.
Nothing happens in Detroit.
Follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring for all the latest. You can hit us up on Discord. We're always there chatting it up, doing things. We have a CSGO server. I'll tweet out the IP address in case people are interested in that. Our website, tcr.gg. That's where you find all the past episodes, some out-of-date YouTube videos. There's a little contact us now. If for whatever reason you want to send us an email with anything, that's where you do that. We'll be back next week, though, for episode 55. Until then, thank you so much for listening to The Center Ring, and we'll talk to you next time.